Hi everyone, it's Ashley today, and I'm going to make a layout with my new Cocoa Daisy kit for the month of May. It's called Record Label, and these are some pieces of paper from the add-ons and cardstock from the main kit. So when I got the kit, it was full of all these really cute sort of sunglass icons and little phrases with things like cool on it. And right away I thought about this picture of our youngest daughter, Ruby Sky, and she likes to wear sunglasses, and we taught her to put on her sunglasses and say, "Hey girl, cool." So when I saw the "Hey girl" brads and the "cool," I thought this would be perfect to scrapbook this photo of her wearing her sunglasses. So I gathered together two shades of cardstock and some pattern paper that I thought would work with this photo, and a couple of embellishments that I thought would be good. So I don't really know where I'm going with this yet. I'm going to see which paper or cardstock I think looks best. I think it just looks way better already on the aqua kind of seafoam cardstock instead of the white. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. So I'm not really sure what to do next. So I think I'm going to put some glitter on that little icon that says cool. I'm going to find my scrap paper here for glittering on kids' school newsletter. Some Mod Podge that I just keep in a small jar to keep it, just to make it a little easier to use. Okay. Glitter. These out of the way so I don't get them all glittery. And I need my tweezers. Okay, so I'm just going to put a coat of Mod Podge on. If you're going to be doing this, you need the Mod Podge fairly thick. If it's too thin, the glitter doesn't really stick nice and evenly. Try to get all the way out to the edges so you don't end up with bare edges, especially if you're using a patterned piece. I didn't bother painting this first because I'm pretty sure the glitter will cover it. Get a good layer of Mod Podge all the way out to the edges. Okay. So I keep my glitter in old canning jars. So use my tweezers and just dunk it right in. Knock the excess off right away. Put that away before I make more of a glittery mess. Now, got the picture, got these brads. I think I'm going to paint or glitter or heat emboss this beach bubble. I love the shape and I love the size, but sentiment doesn't really go with the theme and message of my layout. So thinking I'm going to put the sparkly cool on this beach bubble. I'm wondering if I cover it in this pattern paper, which I really like, but I think is maybe going to be too busy for the background. Let's see. Try it out. That would look good. I'm just worried that if I put the cool right on the pattern paper, it's not going to look super legible. So I need to think about that for a little while. Okay, so while I think about what I want to do with this layout, I'm going to just trim the photo down so I find it easier to figure out what I want to do if the photo is actually in the proper size. Cut the cutoff strip. Okay, so I think that these brads are going to be kind of hard to see and kind of get lost if I use a pattern paper for a background. I'm going to go back to thinking about using the solid cardstock. I think that's going to make them jump out a lot more. Sort of thinking about this kind of arrangement, something like this. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. Might not use them. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this chipboard speech bubble with this floral pattern paper. And I would normally use the bottom corner of the paper, so then I could still have a nice big square left over if I wanted it. But I'm going to go against my norm, and I'm actually going to use this part of the paper for covering this chipboard element, because then if I want to use it as a background, I tend to put my photos and layouts down here, or I'll have a tag or a title block or something about-ish here, so I'm thinking I can cover up the whole, and then it will look like a whole sheet of pattern paper, so that way I don't have to feel conflicted and feel like I don't want to cover this right now because I need to decide what I'm going to do with this piece of paper. So hopefully this will work out for me. So I just like to use a nice thick glue. This is Eileen's acid-free tacky glue. I like it because it's thick and it covers well and really grips the paper and dries pretty quickly, but still gives you a little tiny bit of working time to sort of smudge things into place if they need to. So I'm going to put it right there. Give it a little wiggle to spread the glue. Okay. I'm going to put a cutting board under it and put it out with an X-Acto knife. Right, so there's my awkward piece of pattern paper. I hope I'm actually going to use this now. Something else. And my speech bubble. Right. I just use a piece of sandpaper and just smooth out the edges. I like to sand the paper a little bit just to distress the edge and give it a little bit of definition and a little bit of finish. And then if my cutting isn't perfect, it doesn't matter. And my cutting's never perfect, so it's a good thing I like this look. Get right into those edges so it looks like it's supposed to be that way and not like you just missed a spot. The little burrs. Okay, there we go. So let's see. Cool. Okay, so it's actually a couple days later and I'm still stuck on this layout. I like the basics that I'm going on so far, but I don't really have a really solid idea for the design for the page, and until I get some inspiration for that, I always find it really hard to progress or glue anything down, because how do you know where you want to put things if you don't know how the page is going to be designed? So I like this idea of the speech bubbles and the thought and the words. So Ruby Sky says, "Hey girl, cool," and she puts on a pair of glasses. So I kind of like this arrangement and the flow. I was thinking about the background cardstock is a little too plain for my taste, but I like the solid color, so I thought about misting something up here, but I don't really know what shade, but I don't really want splatters right now. I don't want to commit to something until I know how the page is going to flow. I like the idea of kind of making a sort of curve. It kind of goes from embellishments to title and down to the photo to kind of all tie it together. So I thought about using some of this cool pale blue and white chevron ribbon from the kit and sewing it down, or maybe doing like a little ruffle, or arranging it kind of like a banner to kind of weave all the elements together and tie them together. But this doesn't look quite right yet. I thought about doing something like just placing little embellishments and things to kind of collage a little path together, but right now without anything in the background, this just looks kind of messy to me. There's nothing to tie it together, there's nothing to ground the progress of the embellishments down to the title, to the photo. So, pretty stuck on this one right now. I thought about kind of going to my more typical standard kind of approach to a layout, which is more of a blocky grid kind of technique. Sort of like to line up boxes in a fairly orderly manner. Could maybe do something like this. But I'm not really sold any of this yet, so I think that I need to sit and think about this for a little while longer. Alright, so I'm gonna think. Hi everyone, so it's been probably a couple weeks since I last worked on this layout, and I think since then I was inspired by a layout that Emily Pitts did for the gallery, and she cut a piece of vellum with her cameo. So I cut the vellum that came in the pattern paper add-on with this kind of eyelet lace pattern, and I've laid it over the background. So this has been sitting around for a couple of weeks while I've been thinking about things and working on other projects. And I'm still not entirely sure where I'm going with this, but I do know that it needs to get done. So hopefully today, while the kids are out and I have some nice sunlight to record with, I will get this done. So let's see where this is going. I had this cut piece, this plain white banner that was lying on my desk, and I thought this might be a kind of fun addition to the page, so I'm going to try it out, see what I think. I think we'll add a little bit of kind of movement and unify the background, which is something I think I've kind of had a problem with this layout so far. Things seem disjointed, but not in a good way. So, still not entirely sure. So I have all these papers and little cards and stuff that have come in some past kits, actually, that I'm thinking about trying to pull out, maybe use for this page. I still have lots of stuff left over from this May kit that I can use. So I'm really just thinking about things. I'm not sure where to go with all this. I think actually I'm going to try lightening up the background a little tiny bit, because I think, even though I really love the color, I think it's a little tiny bit too dark for the look that I'm going for. So I'm going to take it away to my misting box and try misting a little bit of white on the background and see what I think about that. Okay, so I misted the cardstock with some watered down gesso that I had added a little tiny bit of aqua ink to, and I think it's lightened it up quite a bit. Here's the back side, it's the same color that it was, and there's the front, so it's certainly quite a bit lighter. I've added a little texture to it too. So let's just put the layout kind of back together, see what we think. So there we go. So I think I like this better already. I really did like that aqua color, but it was just kind of too dark or something for the elements that I had going on. This piece of paper was actually from, I think, last month's kit. I think the April kit. It was from the Pebbles quote card, journaling card, quote card pack. Okay, now what? Okay, so I have this lovely, stylish cardboard box that I keep all of my Cocoa Daisy leftover kit pieces in. And so I've grabbed this, and I'm gonna maybe not end up sticking to the stuff that came in the May kit, although all my leftovers from the May kit are in here. So I'm gonna rifle through that in a bit and see what I can find that goes in here. In the meantime, I think that the whiteness, the stark whiteness, even though I really do like crisp, clean white, the stark whiteness of the banner and the stark whiteness of the lenses of the glasses is kind of throwing me off on this layout a little bit, because everything else is not stark white, and even though I usually like to combine creams and whites, just this isn't working for me. So I'm going to think about heat embossing the lenses for the glasses in a color, and I'm going to cut the banner out of pattern paper instead. So I have a stack of papers from the May kit that I thought went well with I've already used that one, so I don't really want to use it again. I think the back side is kind of too dingy. Sentiment, the color works really nicely, but the sentiments don't go well with the layout, and that's too stripey. And I kind of like the yellow, so I think, and that's nice too, but I might try this one as a backup, because I don't think the blues quite go with the blue of the layout. So instead of setting up a cut on my Cameo, I'll put my box of tools there. I'm just going to trace this and cut it out by hand. So I'm not lining it up like this because I want the banner to go like this on the page, and I want the pattern to be straight on the banner, or mostly straight. Yeah, that will work. Okay. I love my Cameo, but sometimes it's just, I don't feel like I'd have to make this file again and resize it and turn it on. Seems like a lot of work. This is just going to be much faster. So let's see what we think about this color. I think I like it. Maybe it would be better like that. Okay, so I said I was going to heat emboss the glasses, so I'm going to pull out my handy little reference sheet that I made of all of my current embossing powders that I have, and see which color I think matches the layout and the colors, and especially the glasses, because I don't want something that's going to work well for the layout but maybe look really wrong. So I think because there's really no pinks on the layout, I don't think pink would be a good choice. Although this is blush, these are all Zing embossing powders by American Crafts. Blush could work, but it's kind of too fleshy colored. I don't want it to look like there's like eyeballless eyes poking out from behind these glasses. And I think the one that I like the best, it's just like my first impression as soon as I put this down, was powder. So I'm going to pop out these little centers, and of course all the sticker backing is coming off. Stay on there, I don't want you sticking to everything. Okay, I'm going to, oops, move this to the side. Okay, so I think that's a bit better. I don't know if it's perfect, but sometimes you just have to stop trying to make it perfect and just kind of go with what you have. Okay, so now what else? I feel like it's a little empty down here, but I don't want too much stuff because I don't want to detract from what I consider sort of the focal point of the layout, which is this portion up here. I'm thinking right now I might add a little bit of journaling up here so it kind of flows, you know, say something like, she puts on her glasses and says, then I will say, hey girl, cool. Which means then that I don't need to use this as a space for a journaling block. I could put something else down there. I've had this piece of basic grade chipboard out for pretty much every layout that I've done for this kit, and I haven't used it yet. And I'm thinking about also embossing it, just because I don't have any photos that go with this Let's Rock finger symbol sentiment. I also have a bow that I made for this layout earlier, so I could put that somewhere on there. That could work. What else do I have? So many nice things. Another pair of glasses, but I think that one and the photo is enough. And actually I'm not even totally sold on those. I like the idea, but I'm afraid it detracts from the glasses in the photo a little bit. And I wouldn't want to detract from those cute glasses. A little arrow. That could work. I'll put that to the side and think about that one. And a little kind of book platey label kind of like thing. And let's see, from I think last month's kit, I think the April kit maybe, some Teresa Collins photo corners, which could work on here. So I'm just going to kind of leave those up there to the side as a little reminder. And then some buttons from a previous kit, some My Mind's Eye chipboard and wood buttons, but I don't think those are going to work. And I really like these fuzzy rub-ons, and I'd love to use this like awesome, could have been like really awesome up on there or something, but the orange just doesn't go with this layout right now, so I'm going to have to save those for another time. Alright, so I think I'm going to emboss that, because I've kind of wanted to do that, so I think if I do it I'm not going to regret it, and even if I don't use it on this layout, I bet I will use it on another page. So now the question is, what color? So I've got aqua, oh no, powder and metallic gold. So I don't know if I want to introduce a third color or if maybe I just want to repeat maybe the aqua, because I feel like it kind of jumps off the page. So having some of these brighter blue shades might kind of tone it down. And I don't really have too many colors that are the right shade in the cool family, because I don't think any of these neon colors will work, And I mean, if I had like a kind of mustardy yellow, I think that that would probably be just about perfect. I could do it white. That might be nice. Alright, I'm going to try it white, and if I don't like it, I can always do something else on top. So this curled a little bit. Oh, it's hot when I was heating it. So I'm going to, without trying to leave any fingerprints in the warm embossing powder, just try to curl it back a little bit to flatten it out. And do this while it's still warm. So hopefully it will keep its flat shape. I don't have to worry about cracking the embossing powder once it's dry. Okay, so you can see that the opaque white is actually very opaque. And while there's a little bit of sort of texture and kind of granular quality to the embossing powder, that it did cover up that sentiment and image that was on this ticket before I embossed it. So there we go. So now not only does this is literally a blank canvas for my layout, I was able to change the orientation from something that needed to go that way on the layout, which wouldn't have really fit on this page, to something that literally fits on this page. So, and I think I'm happy with the white. I like it. The coverage isn't perfect, but I like that too. I like the slightly distressed, crackled, almost alligatored kind of quality to the embossing powder. You probably can't see it on the video, but maybe when I take some still photos, you'll be able to take a look at it there. But if you didn't like that and you wanted it smooth, you could just get your ink pad, re-ink it, and put on another coat of embossing powder, and that would certainly smooth out the surface quite a bit. Okay, and I like this little bow there. That's going to stay there for now. Maybe not forever, but for now. And what else does this layout need? And this is something I do quite often. I say, what does this layout need? Often not out loud, but it is something I say quite a bit. Have these cute pins that came in the May kit, one of the May kits. Has this nice mustard yellow, so I'm going to leave those out with the photo corners and these little chipboard tabs. I also have some nice enamel dots that are a nice kind of neutral color. And then from the past kit, I have these enamel dots. And I think that the aqua color fits very well in this layout, so I'm also going to leave those out and think about it some more. Okay, so I stitched the background vellum onto the cardstock, which helped not only adhere it, but make the whole background lay a little more flat. And I typed up just a line of journaling that says, she puts on her glasses and says, and then I might tuck it behind the speech bubble so it kind of runs into the title and says, hey girl, cool. I'm thinking about, some of my stitching was way less than perfect, so I'm thinking about trying to cover up some of the really bad spots by maybe using some of these little chipboard pieces and embossing them and placing them, tucking them behind some layers to kind of cover up some of the places where my stitching went a little off. So I think I'm going to do this one in white and this one in gold. So I have this little strip with just Ruby Sky's initials, RS, and the date. put somewhere. Maybe there. Alright, so I think that this, oh, you can even see where I put it because I was off camera, sorry. I put the little date strip here. That little guy there. Alright, so I think this is pretty much done. I'm just going to glue it together and give it one last think.